Pac Kilby, who do you think Carolina should go after to fill their open scholarship?
Well, I think Matthew Mayer is the perfect fit for this role.
Ooh, okay.
So to kind of defend my decision a little bit here, I think he is very similar to Brady. And you can see that. I live in Oklahoma. I live in Big 12 country, so I watch him play plenty. He's just an unselfish guy. He brings toughness. He brings grit. You know, when Brady came to North Carolina, he played 4 years for Hall of Fame coach and Lon Kruger. Yeah. And Matthew Mayer has had a similar experience in a future Hall of Fame coach, Scott Drew. And he's been playing for him, and so he's well coached. He's got the grit. He's got the toughness. He's a shot maker. And I believe, honestly, that he actually brings a little bit more athleticism and defensive ability to the table. And so I think that he would – now, he's not as good of a shooter, so there's a little give and take there. I do think that he would be the right fit. And the cool thing about him that excites me the most is he's a national champion. So he has the veteran leadership, experience, knowledge. He knows what it takes to get there. And so he's the perfect fit for the Tar Heels, in my opinion.
Ooh. All right. You hear it from Pac Kilby. I'm with you, man. I think this is the right fit. Let's just make a Big 12 to Carolina transfer portal. Can we just make that a thing year after year? That would be incredible. Man, yeah, I enjoy watching him play. He's tough. He gets after it. As you said, I think the one thing the Tar Heels would have to learn to wrestle with is he is not the shooter Brady is. Mm-hmm. But again, there is no Brady Manek out there anywhere, right? Like, he is very much a unicorn in a lot of ways like that. But you trade that for some things, as you said, Pac, that Mayer would bring that Brady didn't. You know, like, there's a little give and take there. Having watched him a lot, as you said, do you think who he is, like personality and stuff, do you think it fits in with the culture of Carolina?
I do. I think he's, first of all, he's a team first guy. And that, I think in itself, with North Carolina basketball. And you mentioned something earlier about you don't think Hubert will bring someone in that the team isn't on board with. And I think the team has a championship mindset right now. They're going to want to bring somebody in that's, first of all, willing to work and put the team first. And I don't think there's anyone better fit for that role than Mayer. I think he's like literally the perfect fit for that as far as what's in the portal. You're right. You're not going to find another Brady Manek. But he's about as close to it as you're going to get.
As a competitor, can you, like, here's some, the one thing I keep thinking about for him is, like, can you humble yourself enough to say, I was coming off my national championship year, and then I'm a number 1 seed, and I get beat in the second round by this team. Could I go then play with them? What do you, like, you think he would?
That's a tough thing. You know, I really don't know.
Yeah, man.
I would have a hard time with that. You know, just being a competitor and trying to put myself in his shoes. But at the same time, you've got to kind of put emotions to the side a little bit and think, you know, if I am coming back to college basketball, first of all, who gives me a chance to win? Well, North Carolina does just that. Who's a head coach I would love to play for? Who wouldn't want to play for at this point? And where's a place that I can get exposure and have it in the National Basketball Association? Well, North Carolina checks all 3 of those boxes. And so if you take emotions and you put them to the side, I think it's a no-brainer for him. And not that there aren't other options and other big schools coming for him. But if you really just look at the fit, how he could basically just slide right into Brady's role to an extent and what North Carolina could do for him, you know, I don't see how you pass that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously Baylor is at the pinnacle of the sport right now. Like they're in that conversation with Gonzaga, with Carolina, a lot of these perennial teams right now. That's what Scott Drew is doing. Mm-hmm. But there is just the next level when you think about going to a place like Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, whatever, where it's like that's just that next level of exposure. And if you're wanting to get to the NBA, which he clearly does, that could be the only place you could go up, really, I think. Now, you said if he comes back to college basketball, and that is another big question mark in this conversation, because he's currently, yes, in the transfer portal, but he has stated, my intent is to try to do everything I can to stay in the NBA draft. From mock drafts we've seen, I don't see his name popping up very many places, but what do you think are the chances that he either actually would come back, or that with somebody like North Carolina knocking on the door and the NIL money that could be within there, maybe he gets an endorsement from a wig company for mullets or something, I don't know, and then can come in and come back and make a name for himself and make a lot of money.
Yeah, I agree on the fact that I haven't seen many mock drafts, and that's not to discredit him. He's a great player. I think there's room for improvement, though.
Nope.
He's got to develop the ability to shoot the ball better. What better place to do that than North Carolina, which our staff has shown to be great at talent and player development. And so NIL is another huge thing, which you mentioned. I think that's an opportunity for him to, first of all, come better and make some money in the meantime and give himself to play at the next level. So I anticipate, whether he goes to North Carolina or not, I do anticipate that he does withdraw from the draft and he does, seek an option through the transfer portal.
That's great. And he's just 1 year of eligibility, I believe, correct?
I believe that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's underrated about him?
Firmly, but
I haven't mentioned this yet. I can't believe I did, but I can't believe I haven't mentioned it yet, but you just brought it up and made me remember what I wanted. He's a great replacement hair-wise. Not a lot of people have the Brady Manek hair and beard, but we got the mullet from Meyer, and that would be just a great fit.
Yes. All the Carolina hair from Kobe White's fro to Brady Manek. Man, it'd be incredible. He could definitely get in on that.
Yes.
And so here's two other things I wanted to mention too. I saw there's a group of Carolina people I'm in called Heels House. And there was a comment from a guy in there named Keith McBride, and he said, I had posted something about Meyer, and he said, plus, he would only have to worry about Leaky putting him in jail in practice every day and not in an actual game this time. And I was like, bro, that is savage. That is so good. I love it. That's hilarious. But here's the other thing. I've seen several, yeah, right? I've seen people like bashing the idea of Matthew Meyer coming, saying like essentially comparing Baylor to Creighton and what Ethan Wragge did to Kendall Marshall. And it's like, that is not remotely in the same conversation to me. Like, yes, I know that game was interesting in the second round, but you don't have something against Baylor. You have something against Jeremy Sohan. Yes, absolutely. You have something against the refs for making it a close game. Absolutely. You don't have anything against Baylor or Matthew Meyer. Baylor's a great program. Matthew Meyer's a great dude. I don't know why any Carolina fan wouldn't welcome him with open arms. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I find that interesting. People have takes like that. It just makes me wonder, what is it going to take for you to like? I mean, it had no involvement in that, and a large part of that had to do with the refs not getting control of the game, and so that was. I say this often, but it was just poorly officiated. And when you get 18 to 22, they're competing for something that truly matters to them. Yeah, it's going to get chippy, and yeah, they're competitive. You can't hold that against them. That's part of competing and part of playing to win. And so, we got to move forward from that because he would be a great piece for Tar Heel Nation. And I think if he were to choose to come here, that would be a win for us, and we would need to rally behind him.
Yeah, I love it. It's almost like I'm going to show my age here. It's like Adam Banks coming to play for the Mighty Ducks in the first Mighty Ducks movie. So hopefully somebody out there gets that reference. That would be incredible. Well, Pac, thanks so much for being here, man. It's great to talk again. I love all this great insight you're given both on Brady, but just on basketball in general, and can't wait to keep having these conversations. I'm with you. I think Matthew Mayer is the target, so let's go get him. Let's make that happen.